Okay, I think we are live here. All right, I'm just finishing up. I'm just laying in the last little bits for this story leap, and it ends with a little piano piece here of "Happy Birthday." Happy birthday to me, he sang softly, then blew out the candle. All right, then he blows out the candle, and then we hear, then blew out the candle, then blew out the candle. Thank you for listening to Leap. Okay, I'm gonna put some more space in here. All right, so this is how it goes. Then blew out the candle. That's the end of the story. I think I want to put in like a little breath sound here. Let me share my screen for you guys so you can see what I'm doing. Display settings. Why did I go up there? So I'm going to be working on the book cover for Ingram, the hardcover. But I'm just finishing this up. I want to get this out tonight. Too many things. I had a busy day at the day job, which sucks. No, the day job doesn't suck. It sucks that I had a busy day. um, uh, Normally I can, use my lunch hour to get some work done, but I had a meeting and there's just too much. All right. So let me get this over here. And share my screen. Okay, there you go. And here we are. Okay, good. All right, so here is the track that we're doing here. And you can see over here, we've got the end here. And what I'm looking for now is, no, that's not it. There we go, this. So I'm looking for, see if there's a sound effect of blowing out a candle. Blow out candle. That one's good. That's the one I want. Okay. Da-da-da. And question is, where do I want to put this in my sound effects library? Probably under sound effects. Voices, I think, because it's kind of like a human voice thing going on there. Uh, okay. And I grab the sound effect here. Blowing out a candle. Copy it over. And then I drag it over to my tracks. And it squeezes everything together, which is really annoying, but that's the way it works. And then we come over here to where I just got this blowing out the candle. And we lay it in right here. Then blew out the candle. Blew out the candle. I would take this level on this down a little bit, 10 maybe. Let's see how that sounds. Then blew out the candle. All right, I think I'm going to fade that out a little bit quicker here. Oops. So what I'll do here, in order to fade that out, I'll chop off the end, and then I will just grab from this point on and then add a fade out effect, fading, fade out. And then it fades out nicely. And then I can come in with my closing theme, mystery ident. So this is actually over here. This is under the theme. And then we have outro front. So I grab that, take it out of there, put it in over here. I want to lay that in right over this, right at the end of the piano music. Okay, so this then needs to get dropped over here. So what do we got? I'm going to go about this much. Enough? I think it means by Rich Hosek. No, a little bit more. Thank you for listening to Leap, written especially for the Bedtime Stories for Insomniacs fiction podcast by Rich Hosek. And then it goes into the common background, or common outro, I should say, which I can change with my Podomatic software, which I need to update because it's way out of date. But there we go. I've got it going here. This one came in at 28:20 without the outro and the opening theme, so about 30 minutes, which is a long story. Let me give you the little opening here so you can see how it goes. Leap Day comes but once every 1,461 days. It is a quirk of our calendar based on the discrepancy between the time it takes the Earth to revolve around the Sun versus the number of times it spins on its axis. Most people think it's just one extraordinary day. But what if instead it is an extraordinary day? One on which those who have it as a birthday can do something magical. Leap. You know how people claim to be one in a million? And then I've got this fun little theme here. To a mathematical certainty, 1 in 1,400 that plays over certain parts of the dialogue, where it's more like a expository position, part of the dialogue. When he's talking to Adam, it's mostly silent, except at the end when I lay in some suspense music. So I'll come back to this. I'll work on it a little bit more. But let me go ahead and close all this stuff up. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right, I don't need any of these. Don't need that. All right, let's bring up my, no, not this one. This one here. All right, so here is my Find Away Voices. I'm waiting still to see if my book is live here on Spotify. It says it's past QS and is published. But when I go in here and I look for the redemption codes, it says your audiobook is still processing. Please check back. So if I come here to Spotify, do I have the Spotify? Let's see here. Audiobooks. Doing a search. Podcasts and shows. Okay, still showing the podcast episodes, but it's not showing me the audiobooks. All right, so the audiobook is not live yet. This will be my sort of test here. If it's live on Spotify, I think it's probably live in other places. So this is cool too. So this, you can see here the new logo. Previously, it was like text that you couldn't really read, especially in that small of a thumbnail. But now it's like this pop of colors there, the yellow, green, and blue that, are kind of like a progression of colors. yellow and blue make green. And hopefully it conveys like someone reading in bed. The other stories feels a little busy. If you look at that one right below it. Um, I don't know if they need the text on there, to be honest. The artwork, they got really great artwork for their stories and stuff. So they got really good cast of and crew of people and contributors and so forth. But it's like a lot of this stuff is not designed for a thumbnail. Joe Rogan, uh, brilliant. Look at that one. It's just his face. You can see that there. You know what's going on. Very cool. Uh, also, what was anything new here? Episode 16, July. I haven't done anything since July, huh? Okay. This is Jonathan Yanez and his wife. It's a writer I met on Twitter through Jody Sperling. And I got to meet him out in California in a nice little conversation. All right, let me see if my ebook is up here. Search Amazon for Charlatans. Conundrum. There we go. And I don't see it. Nope, just the paperback. Just the paperback. He has not put the ebook up yet, or it just hasn't been approved yet. So I cannot do the ACX version of this. So this is kind of like in audiobook limbo, unless, of course, you buy it directly from me, in which I can send it to you via book funnel, which is going to be a project I need to do over the next couple of nights, too. I need to set that up. Ooh, I'm yawning already. I just got started. All right. So where were we on the artwork here? So this was it here. We were working on this. And as you can see, I've got this centered here. I'm going to have to expand this. This artwork here needs to be expanded. So what I usually do here is I'll take a look at to go to the image size here, canvas size, and you see the height 3150. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to come here and scale this layer to 3150, making sure that the aspect ratio is locked, and scale it. And let's see how that works. But here's the thing I'm thinking about doing here too. I'm thinking about actually leaving that off. And here's the reason. This is the cover that is going to be underneath the dust jacket. And if it's a complete reproduction of what's on the dust jacket, it kind of defeats the purpose of the dust jacket. So what I think I'm going to do is just actually delete that. Uh-oh. Progress not responding here. And what I'm thinking is I'll just put the text on a black background. And just go with that, and then make sure that it overlays with, it doesn't even need to. Just so you've got the text on the white on the black background, and I think that's gonna be fine. I don't need to do all the artwork there. I don't need to sort of try and make it expand and fit there because then it's gonna destroy all the proportions. The whole effect of the cover is gonna be gone, and this thing is locked up here. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Okay. Did it resize? It didn't resize. All right, let's get rid of that. And let's add a black background here to this now. So let's add a new layer. We want it to fill it with black. Background color. Okay. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to turn off all of this text here. and take off the metal and just go with this. So this is all it's going to be. It's going to be a black cover. If we take this down a little bit, we can see what's going on here. Okay, I can take off that thing too. So it's just going to be a black cover with this text on there. So it's going to be very, very obvious what's going on here. So I think that's what I want to do. Got that centered in there. So let me bring this back up. So the inside cover is going to be this, just the title with the sort of faded color on there, and then the names. And so when you look at it underneath the dust jacket, it'll look good by itself on a on a shelf, but under the dust jacket, this will be positioned in that specific way. I think. I think that's where I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna try this out. You know what? I'll try it out. I'll get a proof. We'll see how it looks, and then we'll go from there. Now I could do a textured black background too. I've got this construction paper texture that I was using for another cover, which might be nice to do. Could also do a black fabric. Let me do that. Let's see if we can find something there. Let me come back over here. So I've got graphics here, backgrounds and textures. Let's go for black fabric. Black fabric texture. Ooh, look at this one. Oh, I kind of like that. It's kind of like a black denim. I actually kind of like that. Big enough. Okay. Got these other ones here too. Let's download this. Rainy day. And download. Okay, so let me put this into that cover. So the software that I'm using, I think I mentioned this before. It's called GIMP. That's the new image manipulation program, GNU new, and it's basically open source Photoshop. So it gives you a lot of those features, and enough for me to do my cover designs without having to pay that subscription, which I'm not a fan of the subscriptions. Not a fan of the subscriptions. Okay, save that there, and let's open the folder, and let's go ahead and expand that. Extract all. So that'll make a new folder here. Now let's check out what we got. Hello. There we go. Black cloth. All right. I can't really see this. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so black clothing, black clothing. It's all the same thing, just different numbers. Let's look in here and see what we get. Okay, so that's kind of like a black denim thing. Are these all the same basically? That's a little bit lighter, a little bit coarser. That's no, one or two. Let's see what this one looks like. That one, I don't like that cross hatching on there. I like the other one. No, that's off. Nope, nope. Let's go to 10. No. Go to 20. No. Yeah, nothing else here really looks as good. So it's between this one and the other one. So this one I kind of like because it's got that kind of imperfection in there, which makes it look a little bit more worn. This one's a little cleaner, but it's lighter too. And then this one, yeah, that's too close. That's too coarse. Not a fan of that one. Nope. I'm going to try the first one. I think I like that one. So the way this works here is I will just come over here and drag it on as a layer. Okay, convert to those colors. There it is. All right, so that's how that would look. Let me scale this one here. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. I'm gonna go down to 3150. So we get more detail in there. Okay. There we go. So there's like that little sort of dark patch there, and the rest wraps around. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. All right. Okay, that's my inside cover. All right, now let's do the same thing with the dust jacket. So I'm going to create a new one here, open, and we're going to come down here to jacket PDF. Import. All right, so we need to trim this one down again too. So then we'll figure out the diagrams here. So this one here, bleed area artwork dimensions. So as we saw last time, all I need to do is come in here and change my canvas size to inches to match that. So we're going to do 21.0 wide and then 9.5 tall. So that's going to come up here like this. Is that right? Oh, I guess so. Well, wait a minute here. Well, let's see what happens. So now we're going to move this around in here. And there we go. I think we got it. Okay. So let's go in the upper right hand corner here, zoom in, and then we'll move this around so we can see where we get it exactly. Okay. And then if we come down here to the bottom right hand corner, you should see that when we move it left and right, there's 1 pixel. Oh, perfect. Okay, we got it. We got it just right. Excellent. Okay. So now we've got this space to work with here. So this is the cover that shows, and then here's the inside flaps here. So let me go ahead and save this, save as. And we were calling this Ingram case. And so this one's going to be Ingram jacket. Okay. Okay, so now the next step here is to bring in the artwork from the paperback. Open as layers. And we're going to bring in this small, I believe it's a revised smaller is the one that we were using. Yep, there we go. So this one works out really close, right? So it's very close to the same dimensions. It's got a little extra bleed than the paperback does. It's got that sort of extra um, quarter inch there. So this one I can probably increase the size of that, or maybe I'll just use a black background on there to sort of blend it in. But it's pretty close. So let me do this. Let me take this here. All right, here is this. I don't need this anymore. Let me do this. I'm going to make a new folder here. Paperback. And then I'm just basically going to see if I can drag everything in there. Pasted layer. Hold that up. Bring that in here. And bring that in here. Okay. So now I've got it all in one thing here, and now I can sort of bring the transparency down on this, the opacity, and now I can line it up here with where I need to go. So I'm going to go ahead and move this whole thing all at once. Should be able to do that. Yep, there we go. So here you can see that it doesn't quite line up again because it's taking up, there's more space, right? When you wrap it around here, it's not going to be quite the same thing. But I'm noticing that the space here for the book is not as big as it has to be, right? I can probably take this and scale it up and see what happens here. So let's go ahead and do that. I come in here and let's see what the image size is here. Canvas size is 2850. Cancel, and then we're going to scale this. Scale there, 2850. Scale. So that'll make everything a little bit bigger. Running out of memory. I should close some of these other images. Can't be running out of memory. I got a monster memory on this thing. All right, kitty. What you doing there? Boring. All right, let's see what's going on. Click here. There we go. That's going to do this. The last time it basically came back on its own, didn't it? I had this problem. All right. What else can I do here? Let's see. Where did I put my Rumble thing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Put it over here. How's it going? Okay, so did we come back from this? Yes. Okay, let me close these up. All right, discard changes. I don't want any changes to that. Discard changes. And then we can discard these changes too. All right, and then let's come back here. All right, so there we go. So now we basically expanded to fit there. And if we look over here, I can see, let me go ahead and bring the opacity down on this one. Oh, that's not this one here. We want. Okay, so you can see here that the working space here a little bit different, but I think it's going to be if I look here at the height between there and then over here, a little bit taller because I scaled it up, but I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work. All right, so let me keep bringing this over here a little bit. So I want to get this text centered here nicely. I got some jaggies on there. We'll see how that looks. Okay. And then, yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. All of this stuff looks really nice. I think I need to move it over a little bit and then move this over a little bit to the right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make two groups. One for the front cover. And of course, one for the back. Okay. So this is going to go on the back. This goes on the back. More information goes on the back. That goes on the back. 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 Winner. Back. And here Dev introduces. It goes on the back. Okay, so the front is going to have Rich Hosick, that text, that, and that. Okay. And also we want to put this pasted layer there. So I'm just going to rename that the front. I'm just going to delete this one. Delete layer. And then we're going to rename this one to front, since it has all the front stuff in it. And then we want the in there as well. Okay. So now I can come here and select the front. For some reason, you have to select the layer and then click on something in the layer that is part of the alpha, and then go ahead and do this. So let me zoom a little bit here so I can get this correct. So you can see there those outlines are actually probably line up perfectly within that space. There we go, right there. Okay, that looks good. It doesn't line up quite with my image, though. You see how the image is not quite there? So that needs to be shifted over a little bit here. Remember last time what I did is I took this image here. Let me zoom in a little bit. And you see how these angle lines here intersect right there, and over here they intersect a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and go to this image and then click on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over until they are at the same height on both sides. Drag this down a little bit more here. So when that and that line up there, okay, I got the same green triangle there. Okay, looks good. And then let's see, the floating body looks like actually looks in a good spot. Looks good. I don't know why that came out okay. Okay, so there we go. So that's centered. I've got the artwork centered here now. And what's going to happen is that this is going to wrap around and do that. And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be having a black background that's going to bleed into here and sort of blend with that. And it's been a while since I've done that. It's going to take me a while to figure that out. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to come up here and take the back, and I'm going to center that now on the page. Up here, select the alpha. Okay. And so this is going to go over this way. Okay. Not maybe too much. That looks centered in there. I'm looking at the blue-black line there to make sure that that's where I want it to be. Okay, and we're not stepping on the barcode there. All right, that looks good. That looks really good. All right, so that is the basic layout for this. So let me go ahead and bring this opacity back up, and you'll see how it lays out here. And now I'm going to go ahead and lay that black background on there. So we'll go ahead and make a new layer here. Layer. And we're going to do the background color again here. Okay. There we go. All right. So that's, you can see it kind of blends over towards the edge here, but here I need to work on that edge. So if I come here and I take this off, hide that, you can see that little edge is a little sharp there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of blend that a little bit. And I got to remember how to do that. So I believe this space here, this thing here, this is like this JPEG here, this is the mask that I used to do the blending. And I'm wondering if I just need to move it over. Interesting. Disable layer mask. Okay, so that's disabled now. Okay, so that's what it is. It's a layer mask. And oh, I really want to blend that a little bit. I don't want to have this sort of abrupt line here. So what I need to do is, what is this over here too? I've got like some black, some other color in there. Take this off for a sec. There we go. Take that off. All right, so this is the original artwork here. So I'm going to put this black in there. Take this off. And then what I'll do is I will go ahead and blend that in here with a layer mask. So I have to look up how to do that. So let's look that up together. Okay. GIMP layer mask. Layer masks. Let's see what it says here. Don't like the videos. The videos are usually not helpful to me. All right. Layer masks need to be added to a layer before they can be used. Process for adding them is simple. Simple image with only two layers. Single teal layer. The teal layer is the active layer. Look for the white border. And the one on which we'll add a layer mask to. Okay. Add a layer mask. Initialize to black. Okay. Purpose of tutorial, the mask initialized to white. So this is where I'm going to make a white to black gradient on my layer mask. So the way I need to do that, and then layer mask has now been added. Select roughly the top third of the image. Change the foreground color. And there's the layer mask. And then he's adding these different things here. And so the teal comes through in those particular things. All right, so that's kind of what I want to do. So there's a layer mask I need to do, and I want I want to fade this out. So the black shows through, and the white filled with different levels of gray, with black resulting in having 100% transparency. Okay. All right, so I need the white over there. Okay, so let's go back and see if we can figure this out here. So what I need to do here is I need to make a new layer. I think now I'm not sure what I need to do here. Let's delete the layer mask on the old one. Okay. Add layer mask. Okay. White, full opacity. All right, let's try that. All right, so there it is, and it's only on that. So I'm kind of like wondering if I'm doing this the wrong way. I need to put this on top and then put the opacity on that. So let's delete this layer mask and add a layer mask to this. Okay. And then what I want to do here, can I do that? How did he do that again? Let me look back on the web browser. All right, modifying layers transparencies with the mask. Okay, dialog. Okay, so there's the mask. Not added to the teal layer, but it's also active. There's a white border around the thumbnail in the dialog, but it's not visible due to the mask being white as well. Modifying layers transparency. At this point on the canvas will apply to the mask and not to any layers themselves. Okay. Okay, so select all. And what I want to do is add a gradient fill here. I want to go from white to black. And how do I do a gradient fill? Is that in here? Gradient. There we go. Gradient. Foreground to background. Perfect. shape linear. Oh, okay. So now here's where I make the gradient happen. All right. So that's how I can do the gradient, right? I think I'm doing it backwards here. Oh, I thought I was applying it to the gradient here. Layer mask, add layer mask, add. And there we go. So I want to go the other way here. Go right about here, all the way back over this way. And I can move this, I think. All right, so I'm confused. Is the opacity on this not right? All right. Delete layer mask. Let's try putting it on this one now. Add layer mask. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and add this here. I think I went the wrong way. Okay. So that. Back this way. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So now I've got like a softer edge there on the color. I can bring this back a little bit this way. Lighten that up a little bit. No, I think I want to go back this way a little bit more. Let's see how I bring this over. Yeah. So I actually probably want that right there on the edge. And that brings that layer mask in. So now I've got the layer mask in there. So perfect. Perfect. All right. So now I can bring back in the back cover here and see what that all looks like. And let's go ahead and bring this back down on the opacity level. Let's make sure everything is lined up inside of the safe zone there. And away we go. So now I'm gonna add to this, I'm gonna add the bio stuff for the authors on there, but I think I've got it pretty much laid in here, which is kinda cool. So this is what my, dust jacket is gonna look like. It's gonna be a wraparound image, and here's a tip for you guys. When you're doing self-published books, don't try to line up a line right on the edge of the spine. It will not work. Amazon's KDP is just notorious for not printing that line on the corner, on the edge, where it wraps. It's not going to work. You want to have like one color for the spine, another color for the front and the back. Nope, you're going to see it sort of overlap, and it's just going to be a big mess. I did that with the first version of this. I just had the image on the front, and then the spine was black, and it was a mess. So I said, well, let me do this. Let me wrap the image around, and that way, if it's off by quarter inch, no one will notice because there's no hard edge on the image. So that's what I do with this now. All right, let's get it here a little bit bigger. All right. So I'm going to add the author bios on there. And so on the front flap, we'll have myself uh, and Arnold, and then I'll put Lloyd on the back, and then I'll put like a little snippet here of the image of the text or something. We'll figure something out to put in there. I think that'll be good. All right. Well, I'm not gonna have time to do all that, but, yeah, so and then, of course so this is the ultimate example of it, right? Let me bring this back here. So now this cover has that, and then the layers wrap around all the way to the back. So there's no chance of there being, like, any sort of, like, defect down there. It's just those stripes come all the way around. When I do the dust jacket for this, it'll be just 3 giant stripes across there like that. All right. All right. So I think I got done what I want to get done here, and I probably need to do a larger tutorial on this when I do a book cover from scratch. So the next book cover I do, I will do this from scratch on this, and we'll probably start with the dust jacket, find an image that's going to fit nicely on there, and then move it around and make that work on here. So that's going to be the challenge coming up here to sort of get that going. And this is something too that yeah, I'm gonna write a book um, on how to go from Scrivener to KDP, and I actually have an article up on Medium about that. If you go to Medium, or if you just search for Scrivener to KDP paperback, you should see there it is. There's my article, the first thing on here. And I got to update this. This is something I need to update. But basically, and this is like my most popular article on Scrivener. What is this? 174 claps, one comment here. This is the one that people read the most. So I basically have all the steps here for how to do that. And so I'm going to go back, and this is with the old version of Scrivener, version 2. I've got version 3 now. So I'm going to go ahead and update that so you can see how that works. Basically, it's step by step how to take your chapters in Scrivener and compile them. And so there's like all sorts of details going on with Scrivener about how things behave. When there's a new chapter, how many lines are there at the top and stuff like that. So this is a pretty simple example here, but you can see that I come through here and I take all that stuff and make it happen. I've learned a lot about this since I wrote this article, but it's the important part of this is the formatting here, right? So once I send it to Word, you can see that you get this kind of the layout of this thing, and you can go in and tweak it. Now, previously, Scrivener wasn't exporting the gutter margins, and now it is. So there's a step here that I don't need to do. So we'll see how that goes. Probably that thing is really in the way, isn't it? And yeah, so basically tells you how to do that, how to create new section breaks in there, how they affect the layout and the headers and all that kind of stuff. How to do the alternating headers from side to side. That's something that you can set up in Scrivener. Oh, here, the widow orphan control too. You see how this, like, there's one line there? How do you fix that? Do you just leave that one line there? What I do is I like take the last two pages and reduce the spacing, or probably just the last page, reduce the spacing to like 0.98 multiplier on the spacing. And that's usually enough to bring that one line back over onto that page and make that happen. So yeah, I got to do a complete rework on this and make that happen. So yeah, there's the old version of here it is. This is the version of the cover I did where I tried to like line the image up on the edge of the spine. Did not work. Did not work. Oops, where'd it go? That was a disaster. It looks good on the quality check, but not so much when you get in there. Yeah, that needs a big update. So I'm gonna go ahead and when am I gonna do that? This weekend I have to get gotta get first I gotta get uh, three stories recorded. No, I gotta get two stories recorded. So I have to publish Leap. I need to record By the Light of the Moon and re-record White and then produce them this weekend. I need to get that done so that on Tuesday and Thursday next week, those are coming out. Because basically that's October. I'm already into October then. Um, but at the same time, I gotta get 10th Ride going here because I gotta get 10th Ride done by the end of this month so that I can work on Farsight for the next 3 months. October, November, December, Farsight. Nothing else. Kept the occasional story. So this is where I really need your guys' help. If anybody has stories that would work on my podcast, about 3K, wide variety of genres. I'm open to all sorts of genres, but I prefer the stories have a little bit of a twist, and that they are entertaining. If the story is especially literary too, I'll take that. I'll give it a try. I did that with Jodie's story. Jodie's story was very, very literary, very highbrow. Not the usual thing I did, but I thought, I want to give this a try. I want to sort of bring this to life and see what I can do with this. And if you listen to the podcast lately, you'll hear that there is a 1 minute ad for his books before every story. So he gets free advertising on my podcast for letting me use his story, and I paid him. So really cool. Good deal for you guys. All right. So that's that. I'm going to call it a night tonight. It is a Friday night. I'm happy with how this is working out. This is really looking nice. Let me just bring this down a little bit here. I want to make sure I'm not stepping into, yeah, it's in the safe zone. See, this is the safe zone here. Everything looks good there in the safe zone. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think this is going to be fine. Figured out the layer here. So that's something I have to. It's just one of those things I need to relearn every time I do it. But hopefully, don't need to do this too often on things. Now, the next cover, Afterlife, is probably going to need to do that too because it's the same sort of situation. It's a photograph that is not going to take up the full width of this. So we'll see how that goes. Should be okay. All right. Yeah, everything looks good. I'm worried about the details zoomed in, but I think that's gonna be fine. That is gonna be fine. Okay, so, I'll finish that up this weekend probably too and order a proof of this book for, see how long that takes, and when that comes in, I'll show you what that looks like, and we'll see how that looks, moving forward with that. That'll be kinda fun. And what else? That's it. That's it. We got it going here. I really like the dust jacket. I think that's gonna be nice. Okay. Good night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow probably. I can't imagine I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. Got a lot of stuff to do, but I stay up late anyway. I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl writer. Oh, I never. I did it again. I did not introduce the. So I'm going to introduce the podcast as I'm saying goodbye. This is the Night Owl Writers Room with Rich Hosick. That's me. And go ahead, subscribe, give me a like on these things here. Um, we'll see what happens. And seriously, if you're interested in talking about anything, working on a story, let me know. Reach out to me on X, and let's get you on the show and we'll work on something together. That'd be kind of fun. This is a writer's room. It's not just a writer room. It's a writer's room. If you look the way in the title, the apostrophe comes after the S, so it belongs to the plural writers. So it's the writer's room. And come on by and say hi. All right. That's enough for now. See you later.